So there is so much emotional turmoil that is going on that you actually have to deal with. And it's a challenge. These are things that people don't talk about, so that you expect it, and when it comes, you're not taken by surprise to know that actually getting healthier or losing weight, which is a process, will actually come with other effects, which I must be prepared to deal with. And that's why I keep singing about the support system. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own. Right. You will always need people on the ground.
In your journey, you talked about earlier on, you said it's time for me to lose weight, but then it ended up putting on more weight when you got your child. Basically, it's been like this.
Roller coaster.
It's been a roller coaster. I think whenever we enter this journey, we think it's going to take a short time, exercise like crazy, go on a crazy diet, done. I think most of us think that way. I also thought that way. I was in absolute shock when I told the doctor when I was starting my journey that I have 3 months to lose 40 kilos. So, what do you recommend to do this quickly? And he said, Laura, if you're being realistic, if you're lucky and you're consistent, 1 year. I said, no. Too long, are you nuts? It can't even reach 6 months. Your journey has been a journey of consistency in some parts, not consistent in other parts. Times you're spot on, times you actually make progress, then you go back. What would you say for somebody who right now is in the middle of this journey? I'm one of those people. So what would you tell me and other people who are in the middle of this journey? We made progress, we slipped, we feel like we're failed, we're embarrassed maybe. We're just like, you know what, this weight loss thing is not for me. Let me now just go on a crazy diet and then we resort to wanting to go through desperate measures. So what would you say to us after going through what you've gone through?
I want to say, one, it's not a quick fix. It's a process, it's a journey. It's very discouraging along the way, but you need to look at the horizon. Where am I going? Keep that in mind and say, if others have done it, there is no reason why I can't do it. And celebrate. What keeps you going is celebrating every milestone, like I said. For me, my target was, never should I get onto that scale and find, although sometimes it failed, but that is how I kept myself going. Never should I get onto that scale and find I have gone above where I was when I last weighed in. So mine was to do whatever I could to at least stay there, or make sure if I've done well, I have actually lost something. And when I'd lose something, I'd look for a positive reward. Maybe let me say, take myself out but have a healthy meal. Or take myself to the beach. I am a person who generally gets therapy from just being at the beach. The fresh air, the water, it calms me down. So I'd motivate myself with small things like that. If I have managed to do this, let me do this. Or if there is a pretty dress that I've always wanted, I'll actually go and buy that pretty dress. So look for little things that may not be costly, but every time you have maybe let me say a monthly milestone you want to achieve, have a reward reserved for yourself, and make sure that if it costs money, let me say, the money has actually been put aside. Don't plan it in your head and the money is not there, because you'll be deterring yourself, so that when you achieve, you actually reward yourself. Don't set yourself out to reward yourself and don't do it, because then your mind will play reverse psychology on you and say, even when there is this promise, it never comes through, you know. So have small rewards that you plan for yourself for every milestone you achieve, and make sure you celebrate them. Then it gives you energy to move on to the next and the next and the next. Keep positive energy around you, and accountability partners, which is key. It is very key. If you're accountable to someone and they appreciate the value of accountability, it helps, because then they keep checking in on you. Because sometimes you will plan for the month and then the month will be so hard. So unless if you have someone who is regularly checking in on you, not just checking in on you at the beginning of the month and then at the end of the month, at which point you probably already lost your target. So it won't help only that you can go back to the drawing board. It's good to have regular, maybe weekly or 2 weekly, someone who always give you a check. Oh, how are you doing? And if you have challenges, it's the kind of person who can listen in to you, because you always need that listening ear. So it helps to have that backup system in place, and to know that it is possible. Just keep speaking to yourself. Lately there's this craze going on about vision boards, which I believe works. Have a vision board and say, you know what, this month, this is my target. And every time you achieve something on your vision board, actually go to the board and tick, check, check. So as you go through the month, you actually realize that, you know what, I'm actually progressing. And when you don't, at the end of the month, stop take. So for me, I keep going back and stop taking. I call it stop take, but I look at the milestones that I've planned and actually check to see where I am.
Lastly, you have a weight loss program, from what I understand. Tell us about it.
So this year, I realized God has been prompting me to, you know what, reach out to people, because when you succeed, it's good to actually share. Don't keep the knowledge to yourself. So I said, you know what, and then I kept saying, oh, but God, you know, I am very busy. I have a full-time job. I don't have time to see people. And God reminded me, He's the one who gives us the time. He's the one who gives us the knowledge. If He says do it, He will equip you. He will give you the time to be able to do it. So it is something I started that I do on Saturdays. I see clients, people intending to get healthier, to shed weight, or even those who are underweight and are trying to, because we are looking at those who are trying to lose weight, but actually those who have lost too much and are trying to gain weight.
So someone has lost the weight and then has lost
other
too
reasons
much.
They've lost, for other maybe medical reasons, they've lost too much weight, and they need, for them getting healthier takes them actually gaining weight. But we don't want them to gain weight recklessly and get other diseases. So guiding them on how do you actually gain the weight.
So someone can come to you for weight gain.
Yes.
Right.
So, but majority are people actually who are struggling with weight. So I meet them on Saturdays. Usually it takes about an hour, because you need to understand somebody's history, where they're coming from, because everybody has tried to get healthy or tried to lose weight, but for one reason or another it hasn't worked. So we need to figure out why hasn't it worked and what can we do or change. So I see them, and before we actually get into that, we first do baseline checks, because we're going to be advising you on how to eat, because we know weight loss, the equation is 80-20. So 80% what you eat, and then you put in 20% exercise. That's when you get 100% results. So, but before we advise you on what to eat, we don't want to find maybe you're pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, or you have high cholesterol, and then we end up putting you on a diet that will shoot up your cholesterol, shoot up your blood sugars. Check if you're hypertensive, because when you're hypertensive, we have to also moderate your diet in a certain direction. So we first do those baseline checks, and if you have a clean bill, then we're good to start. If you don't, then we need to control those, as we also put you on the appropriate diet for whatever medical condition you may have. But I also have a network of colleagues who are in different fields, and we can be able to come together and agree on what would work best for you. So it's an individualized kind of approach, and basically what I'm sharing is what I have read, because I actually go back, and learning is continuous. What worked for me may not work for another. So basically I go up and read all these articles to see what is working for people, because maybe what worked 2 years ago doesn't work now. So I keep reading around what is actually working for people to get them actually to lose weight. And then I develop or design meal plans or diet plans for different people, depending, because there are people who have food allergies. So you're not going to put them on the same diet. Maybe there are those who don't eat nuts, there are those who don't eat certain types of fruits, there are those who don't eat meat, or who don't take milk. So you have to have an individualized plan depending on what your client is able to tolerate. And then we monitor them every 2 weeks to see what's the progress initially. The program does not run for more than 6 months because I believe people need to be self-reliant and independent. So I believe after a span of about 6 months, by then we have gotten to a point where you know this is how I should eat, this is how I prep my meals, this is how I should be eating. You have learned to listen to your body and know, oh, when I eat gluten food, I get bloated. When I eat white carbs, maybe I get bloated, so I shouldn't. When I eat regular portions, I gain weight. When my portions are this size, then either I am stable or I lose weight. So by then you have developed these habits, and basically it's just reinforcing them and making sure, like I said, you have people you're accountable to, but the rest of the habits you have learned. So it's not something that should be lifelong, but it should be a journey of learning, and within 6 months you should have learned. It's only just reinforcing that you actually maintain what you have learned and remain accountable to people so that you can stick to that course. So that is what I do, and yes, it's doable.
In case you're interested in being a part of this program, it sounds amazing. The mistake we make is so-and-so has lost weight, I want to be like them, let me do exactly what they did. And we end up finding ourselves in a situation where we make things worse or we're not getting better. So I completely agree with that, and I think it's amazing. Please do sign up for our program. Thank you so much for being a part of Lost and Found. I started this thing saying, oh, I'm going to do it about losing weight, but it's really about transformation in every way. So even though, like I said before, I was thinner, I feel much better. I feel like I love myself better now, even though I'm overweight. And I'm just more at peace. When you get stressed, there's certain things you need to do, especially if you're an emotional eater. Habits, it's about habits. It's about consistency. It's about time, being realistic, loving yourself. There's so many things that it encompasses. Thank you, Vicky.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being a part of this. I'm excited, and I can't wait for everybody to know about this. God bless you.
Be blessed.